reflect for a moment on living in a country where the majority of the media sort of treats them as equals. They're both the black sheep. They're both in isolation. So you've got one man standing up for what he believes to be right and standing up for his wife. Now, whether you agree that he's right or not doesn't matter. That is what he's doing. He is standing up for what he believes to be right and standing up for his wife, who he believes to have been treated abominably, not just by the British media, but also by his own family, who are so terrified of the British media that they wouldn't say boo to a Murdoch goose. And then on the other hand, you've got a pudding of a man, a bread pudding in human form, accused of multiple sexual assaults against a woman who brought a civil case. A man who we know was knocking around with Jeffrey Epstein, a paedophile people trafficker, long after Epstein's crimes had seen him hauled before a court. A man who we know took Jeffrey Epstein to the Queen's favourite house, Balmoral, and photographed him and his partner in crime, Ghislaine Maxwell, on the steps, on a bench that the Queen had famously been photographed in herself. So this milk pudding of a man, this friend of paedophiles, who stayed out of a dock by dint of paying 12 million quid of his mum's money to the woman that had accused him of multiple crimes, he is somehow the yin to Prince Harry's yang, as if the fact that neither of them were allowed to wear uniforms somehow spoke of comparable crimes or comparable offences. I remember watching that, and I enjoyed the coronation, and I've got no particular beef with elements of the royal family, but I remember watching that. I'm a fan of Prince Harry, so I watched that thing at Camp Bastion. I think it was at Camp Bastion, where he was giving an interview to camera, and the siren went off, and he just pulled off his microphone, he jumped up, and he ran towards towards trouble. I know he's in an Apache, or don't.
Welcome back to Celebrity Scoop. Ever feel like the media has a double standard when it comes to royals? Stick around, you might find this interesting. It's no secret that the media wields a powerful influence over public perception. But what happens when this influence is biased, when some are vilified while others are quietly excused? This is the question that broadcaster James O'Brien bravely posed just a year ago, triggering a conversation that is more relevant than ever. O'Brien, known for his candid discussions on his LBC show, aired a rather glaring inconsistency in the British media's treatment of Prince Harry and Prince Andrew. His observations resonated with many, sparking a debate that still rages on today. Why is it that Prince Harry, who chose to step away from royal duties for the sake of his mental health and family, is cast as a villain, while Prince Andrew, linked to a convicted sex offender, is allowed to quietly slip back into royal life? Prince Harry's decision to marry Meghan Markle, a woman of colour, his move to the US, and his vocal stance on mental health and racism have been met with relentless criticism. Meanwhile, Prince Andrew's association with Jeffrey Epstein, a man convicted for sex trafficking, has been largely glossed over, with the prince even being welcomed back into royal events. O'Brien suggests that this isn't just about royal protocol or loyalty to the crown. Rather, it's about media bias, class, and yes, even race. It's about who gets protected by the media and who gets punished for speaking out. It's about the media's ability to shape narratives and influence public opinion. So, we find ourselves asking, why are some royals allowed to quietly navigate their scandals, while others are slammed for simply seeking a life of their own? Why does Prince Harry get the villain tag, while Andrew quietly slips back into royal life? Is it time we reassess how we consume media narratives and question the double standards that exist within them? As we continue to explore this issue, we invite you to join the conversation. Because after all, it's not just about the royals. It's about fairness, transparency, and the power of the media itself. Prince Harry, a royal who chose a different path. Stepping away from centuries-old customs and traditions, Prince Harry has indeed carved a unique trajectory for himself. A modern royal, he's often been perceived as the rebel in the royal family, a tag that has only been solidified by his recent decisions. His choice to leave the royal family, a decision he made alongside his wife, Meghan Markle, was a monumental one. A decision of such magnitude was not without its fair share of controversy and backlash. Many questioned his loyalty to the crown, while others wondered about the implications it would have on the monarchy. Yet Harry's decision was not just about a desire for independence. It was about prioritising his mental health, an issue he has been increasingly vocal about. He has candidly spoken about his struggles, breaking the silence that often surrounds mental health discussions. On top of this, Prince Harry has also been outspoken about racism, a topic that is often avoided in royal circles. His marriage to Meghan Markle, a biracial American woman, has further spotlighted the issue. The couple has faced an onslaught of negative press, with many attributing the harsh criticism to racial bias. The media, often the gatekeeper of public opinion, has not been kind to Harry and Meghan. Their every move, their every decision is scrutinised, criticised, and often negatively portrayed. From their decision to step back from royal duties to their candid interviews about their struggles within the palace walls, the press has been relentless. But as we dissect Prince Harry's decisions and the subsequent media reaction, we must ask ourselves, is all this criticism warranted? Is it fair to penalise a man for prioritising his well-being and that of his family, for standing against racism, for choosing love over duty? Harry's decisions have been met with a wall of criticism, but is it warranted? On the other hand, we have Prince Andrew and a scandal that seems to have been hushed. While Prince Harry's every move is scrutinised, the controversy surrounding Prince Andrew has been treated with a shocking level of silence. Despite his connection to the infamous Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted sex offender, the media coverage of Andrew's involvement has been noticeably subdued. In contrast to the media's relentless pursuit of Harry and Meghan's departure from royal life, the reporting on Andrew's scandal has been relatively quiet. The prince's relationship with Epstein, his visits to Epstein's private island, and his alleged involvement with underage girls have all been met with a baffling lack of media scrutiny. Perhaps even more astounding is the royal family's response. Despite the severity of the allegations, the royal family has been slowly and quietly reintegrating Prince Andrew back into royal events. His public appearances, while reduced, have not stopped entirely. His presence at his father's funeral and at his daughter's wedding are clear instances of this. This subtle reintegration has happened without any significant public outcry or media frenzy. But one must ask, why is Andrew, with a scandal of this magnitude tied to his name, allowed to return to royal duties with such ease? Where is the media's rigorous examination of his actions? Why is there such a disparity in the media's treatment of Harry, who merely sought a life away from the constant public scrutiny, and Andrew, who is embroiled in a scandal of a far more serious nature? The answer to these questions may lie in the complex interplay of power, privilege, and media bias. The media's role in shaping public perception cannot be understated. In this case, it seems to be playing a pivotal role in how the two princes' stories are told, and more importantly, in what is left untold. Andrew's scandal seems to have been swept under the royal rug, but why? Perhaps it's time we start asking the right questions and demand accountability from those who are tasked with reporting the truth. Because, after all, silence in the face of scandal is a choice, and it's one that we should all question. Is the media bias just about royal protocol, or is there something more? As broadcaster James O'Brien pointedly highlighted, it's not just about the rules and regulations of royalty, it's about social class, it's about race, and it's about the media's inherent biases. Yes, it's a complicated cocktail of factors that intertwine and overlap, resulting in a heady mix of hypocrisy and double standards. Let's delve into the class aspect first. The British class system, while not as overt as it once was, still pervades the societal fabric. It's reflected in the media's treatment of Prince Harry and Prince Andrew. Harry, who dared to step out of the traditional royal mould, is vilified. Andrew, despite being linked to a grave scandal, is quietly reintegrated into royal events. It's a classic case of protecting one of their own, the higher class individual who conforms to the status quo, over the rebel. Then we have the issue of race. Meghan Markle, a woman of colour and Harry's wife, has been subjected to relentless and often racially charged scrutiny by the British media. It's a stark contrast to the near silence surrounding Prince Andrew's controversies. Meghan and Harry's decision to speak out about the racism they experienced was met with backlash and disbelief. Yet, Prince Andrew's association with a convicted sex offender barely causes a ripple. The media's bias is glaringly obvious, and it's impossible to ignore the racial undertones. The media's role in shaping public opinion cannot be underestimated. Its power lies in its ability to highlight certain stories while quietly burying others. But when the media chooses to protect one individual while vilifying another based on class and race, it undermines its credibility and the principles of impartiality and fairness it should uphold. The question then becomes, who gets protected and who gets punished for speaking out? It's a question that needs to be asked, and more importantly, a question that needs to be answered. Now, it's time to hear from you. The media's double standards, as we've explored, seem to lean heavily in favour of some while unjustly vilifying others. The stark contrast in the treatment of Prince Harry, a man who dared to step away from royal protocol in pursuit of his own happiness, and Prince Andrew, who has been linked with a scandal of a far more serious nature, is a clear manifestation of this bias. The question is, do you see it too? Do you agree with broadcaster James O'Brien's stance that the media, driven by bias, class and race, is unfairly targeting Prince Harry while letting Prince Andrew slide? Or do you believe there are other factors at play here? Each of us has a unique perspective, shaped by our experiences and understanding of the world. Some may argue that the media's treatment of Prince Harry is justified due to his decision to break with tradition, while others may argue that Prince Andrew's actions warrant the same, if not more, scrutiny. It's a complex issue, and there's no one-size-fits-all answer. We encourage you to dive deeper, to question, and to form your own opinions. Our aim here at Celebrity Scoop is to provide you with the facts, the perspectives, and the space to formulate your own thoughts. This isn't an echo chamber, but a platform for open discussion and debate. Whether you agree or disagree with James O'Brien's viewpoint, we'd love to hear what you have to say. Now it's your turn to contribute to this conversation. We encourage you to share your thoughts on the perceived media double standards and the treatment of these two royals. Every viewpoint is valuable and helps to shed more light on this complex issue. Don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments, and remember to like and subscribe for more honest takes on the royals and the media. Thanks for joining us on Celebrity Scoop, where we always spill the royal tea.